more realistic to me, in my life. So let's talk about today's guests. Yes, I'm pluralizing it. Something I've thought about ever since I started thinking about having a podcast that was a little different than some of the great ones out there. I'm going to chat with some of my former players. I know, maybe not coach, maybe not the smartest move, but growing up in Michigan, there was a long wait list to play hockey at my rink, um, Dylan Larkin's rink, Lakeland Ice Arena, no big deal. Waterford, Michigan, let's go. So my neighbor invited me to practice so I could see what it was about because I was curious because I had never seen a hockey practice. I had only been playing kind of deck hockey and street hockey and stuff. So the coach asked because the coach was willing to let me ask questions, so I did. Then the coach said, why don't you come out next practice and shoot and warm up the goalies a little bit. So I did, and it was interesting that I could probably say my ice hockey career definitely started on the ice, and I wouldn't say I was a coach. I didn't have any coaching abilities, but I got to warm up the goalies, and I also got to be on the bench a couple times. So it really helped me kind of remember that after my high school playing career was over, and then I thought about coaching. It's interesting because it really has a lot to do with those that give back to your sport, to your program, to your team, or a bright-eyed, curious kid that had very little facial hair back then about the sport. That generosity was mentioned by Coach Joe last week in our last episode about giving back and paying it forward. Jason McCrimmon, who won the Willie O'Ree Award, who was in episode 1, does that for his program in Detroit and his program in Fraser, Michigan. The NYCGHA does that for people that can't afford the sport. And I love those stories because it shows that when we always talk about why are hockey players such great friends, such great teammates, and it has a lot to do with because we give back. Hopefully every hockey player gives back to people in their sport. And the reason I mention that is because these former players show why I don't only bark about skating and scoring, but I like to help them along the way of their future. I keep an eye on them. I have them send me texts. I say, "How you doing?" once in a while. We usually have a holiday skate at the before Christmas when all the kids come home from college and everything. We get together, we have a skate, and I have the kids I used to coach talk a little bit and play around and play a little bit of hockey with the kids that I currently coach. And it's really a lovely thing for myself with no children of my own to see this group of young people that I had a little touch of help, I think, in their thinking and development as good adults. So on that note, let's move to all these my former players. Well, today is either the best idea I've ever had on this podcast or the worst idea I've ever had in this podcast. We'll find out soon enough. These young guys, I've all coached them all at one time or another, some more times than others, some once or twice. There'll be guys that will be edited into the video as well. We have representation from current students, former graduates, from schools all over the country, but they all were living in Skyrink at one point in Chelsea Piers. Some of these young folks are starting their careers in tons of ways. I've got filmmakers, finance guys, all this stuff. They'll talk to you a little more about that. All or most of them still are playing hockey, I hope. And I'm going to delay there because hopefully you guys are all playing hockey. Welcome, my Pier 61 former Cyclones, I was trying to figure out some of the names, the Dragons. I think I had a spring team called the Dragons or something. Maybe that's way back. That might be before you guys. Anyway, welcome to Cross Ice Pass, boys. It's so good to have you. So good for you guys to give me some of your really um, thought about time. I know you guys have so much schoolwork to do and so much work to do, and you got to go to work at 7 in the morning tomorrow. But here we are. So I'm gonna switch around and tell the people who you are and give us a little introduction. Shally, your go first.
Awesome. So my name is John. Everyone usually calls me Shally. That's just short for my last name. I'm from Queens, New York. So the commute to the rink was pretty brutal for me at times. Most of the time I was late to practice. I go to the university at Buffalo. I study finance here. I'm a junior right now, and I play hockey for the AAU team here. It's Division One. I play left wing. Steve had me at center sometimes. I don't know why, because I never back checked. And I'm a really big New York Rangers fan. So, yeah.
What about your fondest hockey memory? And it can be current, old one, whatever you think.
Uh, I'd say with you, it was always when we went through the horseshoe drill. I remember you always tried to get through it, but every time you shot the puck, it would just stay flat on the ground. I remember me and Harrison would always laugh about it. So that's a really good one.
That's funny. Well, we'll move to Harrison then. Harrison, how about give us an intro?
Yeah, I'm Harrison. I'm currently a junior at Syracuse. Favorite team is the Islanders. I think honestly, you were the first person to put me at defense, and at first I wasn't really a fan, but since then I've in like intramural hockey here, I'm still playing defense. So I thank you for that. I think my offensive talents kind of wore out, so you decided to make the switch, but I'm liking that.
What about fondest hockey memory for you, Harrison?
I think it came in one of our games against Riverbank. That was our big rivalry. We definitely had some beef with them, and I think we were down one with like 30 seconds left, and a puck came to me from the point. I shot it. It went in. It was pretty exciting. I think Ron was pretty pumped up, and as were you. It was a good memory.
Nice, nice. Yeah, Ron still talks about that actually. At his we talked about it when I was at the Bahamas for his wedding. Um, Ogie, you're gonna go next. Give me a little intro.
All right, my name is Daniel, otherwise known as Ogie. I'm from Manhattan, and I'm currently at Wesleyan University in Connecticut. I'm a master's student in computer science. I'm still playing, I'm still trying to get out as much as possible. We don't really have a big hockey program here outside of a team that I didn't really want to join. And uh, I was always a defenseman, no questions there. I didn't really care either side, but Steve always had me at right. And I'm definitely a Rangers fan, more to represent the city, but I'm more so a hockey fan. Just happy to watch whatever game is on. Favorite memory, I'm caught between two. So my name was on Steve's team's Ogie because I got to be reminded sometimes to be a little bit more aggressive. I definitely was a little bit timid at first when I was a year or so younger than the other guys, and they were a little bit bigger than me when we started doing that light travel. So Ogie's house was always my favorite drill, just reminding me to be little bit more aggressive in front of the net. It's either that or I know Teddy and Cale will appreciate the Pelham fight. I don't know if you guys remember that well, but I saw Jay on the street a couple of months ago, and he was like, "Oh, I still have that video. You want me to send it to you?" So yeah, that's a good memory. That's definitely a little while ago, but I love that one.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. Um, so many good ones, but yeah, that Pelham one, that's a good one to bring up.
Crazy.
Um, Out of you, Teddy, I'm going to start with you, and then we'll end with Cale.
All right. My name's Teddy from Manhattan. Favorite hockey team is the Rangers. Currently, I'm working at a company called Market Access. It's a fintech company. It's a bond trading platform and one client services team. So it's basically supporting traders. It's not really hockey related, but back to hockey. Steve always wanted me on the wing. Even though I preferred center, he always told me that I was too slow. That's something that always pained me because you're too slow to play center. You can't play center, but I always wanted to play center. Now I'm actually playing on the wing, though. I don't really like to play center anymore, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, my favorite hockey memory with Steve is probably, I think, the year after, probably my second year where you were the coach, you were giving letters out and getting the A over this guy next to me. Seeing him without the letter, and you gave it to me, was probably my best memory then. Meant a lot.
Wow. You're like, you know what, Cale, why don't you come over to my house so we can get on this video with Coach? And then I'm going to mention that just so you get a little, just dig a little your side of it.
Tough guy, and you gave it to him.
Yep. All right, Cale, let's give us an intro.
Oh, yeah, I'm Cale. I'm from Manhattan as well. Right now, I'm working at Charles Tyrwhitt on the marketing team there. I went to Penn State. I'm a Rangers fan also. And I think I liked playing left wing, but you would usually put me at center, even though he wanted to play center, but I was a bit faster back then.
Not anymore.
He's
not faster anymore.
Basement Wi-Fi.
Favorite hockey memory, I think, was actually against you, Coach, when you pulled the goalie for your team with about 5 seconds left because the draw was in our end. And I think Teddy won the puck back to Chris Barker, and he shot it down and won on a buzzer beater when the game was tied.
Well, sorry to give you that memory. Wow. It was just Spring League, though, so it's all right. Not too bad.
No, we won. It was against you.
Yeah, it was against you.
You were the other team.
Oh,
yeah.
That's right.
It was tied, and you pulled the goalie because the draw was in our end.
Yeah. Well, and, can never forget Chris Barker.
Hi, my name is Henry. I'm a senior at the University of Vermont. I play on the club hockey team at UVM. We are Division II in the ACHA, or ACHA, as some may call it. And aside from my team that I'm playing on now, I'd say my favorite team is the New York Rangers. I am a goalie. That's what I prefer because I'm crazy. And I think a coach's preferred position for me would also be goalie because I'm probably like half the size of the other guys out there, but it's a lot of fun. I don't know why I'm goalie. I guess I'm crazy. I like getting pucks flung at me, but I think one of my fondest hockey memories is from this past spring when I was with the team at Northeast Regionals for the ACHA, and we played nationally ranked Keene State College and won in overtime. It was a crazy game. I was shaking out of nervousness, but it was really something beating a team that good. And I can remember, the goal that was scored, how I cheered, how all my teammates skated and celebrated, and how we were super, super happy, super excited. That was a very crazy, very fond moment for me.
My name's Joe. My favorite team is the New York Rangers. I was coached by Steve probably through middle school to early high school. I normally play center and left wing. I think Coach Steve put me anywhere. He was the first coach to put me at defense. He was the first coach to, pretty much challenge me to play in any position I could help the team. I was a pretty good skater, still am. And I think I knew my role was to just help the team wherever I could. I think one of my fondest memories is when Coach put me with now my great friends, Harrison Haskell and Taylor Faust, and we were called the Dirty Line. We were called the Dirty Line because we would score goals, but they were never pretty. Probably the ugliest goals ever. Like, I remember one play was, I shot it from the blue line. I think Harrison tripped, and, somehow the goalie lost sight of the puck, and then Taylor just scores like an empty netter. And, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. It was never a pretty goal. No slick one-time tic-tac pass. It was just chaos until it went in the net. But I got to say, that was some of the most fun hockey I've ever played, because you never knew what was going to happen. You just knew it was going to get in the net.
My name is Theo Vernadakis. I formerly played for Steve Mosier. I was a part of the Chelsea Piers 61s hockey team. I was the light travel hockey team at Chelsea Piers, but has been recently rebranded over to the New York City Cyclones. It's just a little bit about myself. I currently work for the city. I work in city government. I attended Franklin and Marshall College in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, from 2018 to May of 2022. I had studied government with a minor in history. I was a member, fortunately, of the Franklin Marshall ice hockey club team, where I played as a forward for a few seasons, but due to the nature of being a hockey player, you succumb to a lot of injuries, especially upper body. So fast forward 2 shoulder surgeries and 1 wrist surgery later, here we are.
Just to let the listeners know, one thing about these kids that's great is that that is great about what they just all said is that they still play. The thing is that's really funny is that their preferred position versus my preferred position for them, they still play those positions now. So that's I don't know if that's me patting my back, or maybe I made the right decision for you guys. Maybe I saw something that you weren't seeing, obviously. So, but all I invited to get into this episode was the kids I knew that were hard workers, weren't generally too difficult, but they all were a little bit at times. Especially when I had to lose against them in the spring, or I had to break them, or I would get a great group together and then have to break it up, because of spring. And then they would all be like, why am I on your team, coach? And I'm like, usually it was never my decision. So, yeah, it's been an interesting thing, and I'm happy you guys are all playing still. And I know there's a lot of Syracuse love that happens when it comes from New York City. So, but there's so many other schools too. So, anything in particular? I'm trying to think about kind of where I want to go with this as my questioning. I really want to know, like, what do you guys think? And you can kind of just raise your finger and go as you please. I don't have to call out everybody out, but I really want to know what your time in hockey, whether it was on or off the ice, has really like created for where you guys are in the schools you guys are in, or the jobs you guys are in, the future you're looking to have. I'd love to know about how that is working out for you guys. Go ahead, Ogie.
Yeah, I can take that one first. I would love to say that it's influencing more about my job prospects, but comp sci and hockey, there's definitely applications. Like you see there's definitely more comp sci kind of stuff going into the NHL, like you see with the boards and the decals on the ice and stuff like that, and then tracking the puck. That's always a discussion. And then, obviously you got camera work and everything, but for me personally, probably not going to be the most influential thing for career decisions. But yeah, I'm definitely planning on playing men's league, beer leagues. If I'm back in New York next year, as I hope to be, I'm definitely thinking about being a coach on the weekends. And oops, Give me a second. So that's cool. So I'm definitely thinking about being a coach on the weekends and, maybe getting myself a locker and not having to pay for it so I don't have to schlep everything back and forth. But
it does help. It does help.
I'm sure it does. It's definitely still going to be part of my life, even if it's not the major part of, what I'm doing day to day. And I definitely will attribute that to the great conversations and memories I have of being at Chelsea Piers, not just through the travel programs, but the spring programs and Little League and then River Rats and then baby Cyclone stuff for like 2 months before they rebranded it. I got a lot of good memories out of that. And I can't say that it's not an influential thing for my life.
And you got some merch from it too, because your parents had to buy new stuff every time they changed anything.
Every single time, yeah.
All right, who wants to tell me next?
Okay.
Go ahead, Teddy.
I mean, now working in like a team setting, it's kind of like cliche, but always being in a team your whole life is something that is a good skill to have. Learn how to collaborate with people, and then, like I said, my memory you gave me the A, so having a little bit of leadership helps. Being able to, just learn some leadership roles and just learn how to communicate with people is something that you use every single day of your life. And just like starting that at a young age, always being with people, and teams change time and time again. You meet new people. We had a guy come from Russia once, like from all over the world were coming on. Like, you meet different people from different backgrounds. It's good experience, and not just work, but like any type of development for your life. And just hockey in general has always gave me something to like. Every weekend we have a game, or if the Rangers are on, like it's something to look forward to, and that's always good too. Just even after like a long work day or whatever's going on, like, oh, I got hockey later, or there's a game on tonight. Something always nice to look forward to.
Nice, I like that. What about you, Cale? Since we're already on that area.
Yeah, I was thinking kind of the same thing. Also, I guess from like a staying active standpoint, I think it's important, not only from like a physical standpoint, but getting involved in team sports is definitely something that a lot of people benefit from. But I'm glad, we kept it up and playing too for a while.
Shally, what do you got?
I'd say one of the main things was it was a getaway from everything going on in life. In a sense, if it was bad, even if it was good, it was just like hockey was a whole different world. As Jacob joins, I'll say also, taught me a lot of discipline, taught me a lot of patience. Obviously playing, on teams sometimes where you're not always winning, you need to stay composed, or if it's waking up early for practices like we did, or currently I practice at 6 a.m. every Tuesday, Thursday. So, waking up early, staying disciplined, making sure that you have all your equipment, being prepared. I'd say, like Teddy said, teamwork's also a really big part of it because, sometimes you'll meet people that you have nothing in common with, but that one thing that brings everyone together is hockey or just winning. So, that's kind of that. And, my passion for hockey just keeps growing every day, whether it just be watching games or keeping up with the league or, seeing how incredible some prospects are now, being 20 years old, you're seeing a lot of kids who are 17, 18 years old are just unbelievable. So, yeah.
Pretty good one. Harrison, go ahead.
Yeah, something I wanted to add, I kind of agree with everything that's been said, but I feel like you taught us a lot about how to act off the ice as well. You always taught us about respecting others, parents, whoever was at the game, saying please and thank you to people. And I think that's something that's stuck. And, even though games might be intense and, you obviously want to win, like there's more to it. And I think you did a good job of kind of instilling those values in all of us.
Cool. I'm glad those things stuck. For
Absolutely.
the viewers, we've got Jacob Lasner here. Jacob, we did a little intro, and what I'm talking to the boys about is how hockey is really translated into what you're doing as an adult. Jacob was a couple minutes late because he's working at BC, and as you can see his shirt, event staff. What's the title that you got there right now?
Oh, I'm actually working as a PA for BC right now.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
so I do hockey and volleyball and baseball.
Well, we know that obviously hockey has been a big translation into things. I asked all the boys, and we'll see what you think, because I think I probably gave you the position you wanted. But what's your preferred hockey position, or what was my preferred position for you on the team?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch.
What's your preferred hockey position, or what was my preferred position for you? Which one did you like more?
So my preferred position used to be center, but towards the end, I was playing a lot more wing than I was center. What I like about being a center is that I really like getting low in the defensive zone and kind of swinging by so that the winger can feed me with a pass so that I'm already like going fast up the rink. And as a wing, you kind of taught us to like stay low in the defensive zone and wait for that pass from the defenseman and just wait for the center to like swing past. So it's different starting from like a total stop to like going as fast as I can around the defensive zone. So the position is kind of like
very good, very good. I'm glad. I'm loving this. I'm loving this love that things have kind of soaked into you guys. It makes me happy.
Yeah.
One thing that I think one question I want to ask you guys is, do you guys remember my rules? And one of you guys just pick a rule and kind of tell me what the rules were that Coach Steve had, because I still kind of they're not much different from year to year. Go ahead, Harrison.
Number one rule was no cursing, even though you were one of the biggest violators of that rule. You still held us all to that.
I don't think anybody followed that rule, honestly. No one followed that rule.
It was one of those rules that was like, like Harrison said, a little respect for families and moms and things like that in the lobby. And I think, off the ice, we probably broke the rule on the ice pretty well, but off the ice, you guys were all pretty good about not dropping F-bombs everywhere, which was good. Anybody else got another rule, John?
I think one of the rules that you were really strict on, I think you ripped my headphones out once. No headphones in the locker room. I remember that. I remember walking into the locker room and you were just I was walking in, you were standing there, you just ripped them out of my ears before there were AirPods and stuff like that. So that was probably the one that pissed me off the most, because I like to be in my own kind of like mental space, not listening to everyone else's music. So
fair. Yeah, and that's probably the only time I've ever done anything like that. But it was like a blatant rule change. But yes, that did happen. Anybody else? Who else got another rule? Ogie.
I'm just surprised about the one time, but I definitely know no questions. No questions was definitely one that I heard. I don't know, 4, 5, 6 years. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah. Well, and I still use it, and I still have to explain it, because I always get that look from a parent that says they're like, they can't ask you questions. And I'm like, it's not that they can't ask me questions. They got to know when to ask me questions. When I'm in the middle of instruction, it's pretty disruptive. Yeah, the swear thing, the questions. Cale, give us one.
I like the you can get water at the end of practice.
Yeah, I still do that.
No drinking water on the ice. Yeah, that was the one.
Yeah, that was when I was with Coach Ron. We came up with that idea. That probably wasn't the best move, because we also realized very fast that you guys weren't drinking water before.
Yeah.
You probably needed it in the middle of practice. So, yeah, I think that was just that one season I did that, because definitely you guys were not happy with me when I had that role. Anything else that we're missing? because I gave you guys the unwritten rules as well of hockey. Go ahead, Ogie.
I remember one. It wasn't as much of a rule as a way of life, a Steveism of life. I don't remember if it was college or after you graduated, but you definitely couldn't have a girlfriend before you graduated from high school or graduated from college. It was one of those.
Yeah, and I think you guys all did not listen to that situation.
Nobody did, but we loved that it was there.
Yeah, because I wanted you guys to focus on hockey.
But, I remember you'd have to wear, was it a neck guard and a mouth guard every time we got on the ice? And, like, if we didn't have one, you'd stop practice and just yell at us for, like, 10 seconds until we went back into the locker room and got it.
I still do that, especially considering some of the things that have happened in the last few years with neck injuries in hockey. But my favorite, and it still happens, and it happened to me this week, was all the kids are all set up now. It's taken me 10 years to get there, yelling about neck guards, and I think finally people listen. The new kids do, but now they don't ever have a mouth guard. I'm like, why don't you have a mouth guard? Well, coach, do I really need a mouth guard? I'm like, yeah, we're playing checking sports. You need a mouth guard. But yes, maybe not in practice as much. But that's going to change. Those rules are going to change for everything, I think. We'll have to find out. Yeah, that's pretty much sums up my rules. Some of them are a little aggressive, but I think some of them, you guys are all good at following them. So luckily, the guys that I have on here right now, I think that comes from your household and your parents, and making sure that you guys had some respect for me, even though I was pretty crazy sometimes. But most coaches are. My coaches were crazy too, so I think I just moved it from when I had coaches to when you guys, and I was your guys' coach. Let's going on some of the rule things. We're going to keep this to the, at the right level so we don't go into too crazy stories, but you guys got any crazy memories of me as your coach other than ripping out your headphones? I know there's got to be. Go ahead,
Yeah.
John.
There was this one tournament we played at Riverbank, like Harrison said. It was kind of like that round robin tournament. I just remember it wasn't, you would tell us to keep our composure, and then it would just be you ripping on everyone, even some of the players at times. But I remember those were pretty fun. I mean, most of the time, thankfully we would be on the winning side in crazy games. But I think just the best memories were us keeping our mouths shut because you told us to, and then you just ripping on everyone else on the ice. So that was pretty funny.
That sounds like me last season. You guys don't know this, but last season in the Riverbank tournament, I got booted in the first game because I was very unhappy with one of the refs. So they still let me watch the games off to the side. So there's that. Anybody else got one?
I got a host of them, but I'm pretty sure you don't want them on here. Let's see if I can code them a little bit so that we just get your reaction.
Okay.
Trophies given out at Riverbank. You remember what happened to that and what happened to Riverbank afterwards?
Yeah, I do remember that. But I remember our goalie. I don't know if it was you guys. Maybe it was you guys, because I think, Jacob, you know this for sure. Our one goalie hated losing so bad that he broke the trophy in half right in front of the Riverbank director, and then ran away. And I had to put out that fire pretty fast. So yeah, Riverbank has a tendency to be a pretty hot topic. Last year, also in the tournament, there was a dad that has a megaphone, and anytime something would happen, he'd be like, "Coach, coach." Oh, that took me a whole lot of composure to have in that one, because that was a grown man, and I was not very happy with him. So, anybody else?
I
got a good one?
I have a good one. All right,
that's good. That's kind of good. I'm kind of happy.
All right. So
I'm kind of happy there's not a bunch of them there. Um,
Do you remember what team?
let's move into something else then. And Jacob, you can start with this. What have you been up to since I coached you, other than doing
I think
school and
he had a story to tell. I think he might have just
Yeah,
yeah?
I got a memory.
He looks paused a little bit on my end.
he's
Oh,
working.
so I'll try to code this one as well. So you
Well,
can remember.
my Wi-Fi router is a 5G, Shally, but it just happens that I'm never. This is a new episode with this many people at once, so we'll see how it goes.
All right.
We're seeing how it's going, I should say. Anybody got any? What's happening, Ogie? Am I like pausing or something on you
No,
guys?
Jacob just keeps on talking, and each time he tries, you just go. So anyway, yeah, my Wi-Fi router, we're good.
Yeah, all I do is I see him completely paused.
Gonna have to be a quit and rejoin, Jacob.
He's working. He's real.
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
No, I can switch it for a second.
I can just tell him. We can just tell him to speak, and then like we'll tell you when it's at. Yeah.
Yeah, that can happen too.
Yeah.
There we go. I got you.
All right. So, if this brings back any memories, ceremonial puck drop, and then like 5 ejections after a fight. Do you remember?
Yeah, I do remember that one.
That was crazy, that game.
That was also Riverbank though, right?
No, it was. Oh my God, where was that? Putnam.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one you missed. I remember.
Yep.
That game was incredibly eventful.
Yeah, I never had to sign more paperwork in my entire life as a coach, thanks to that game. That was yeah, because Ogie talked about earlier about in Pelham there was a huge kind of fight like that too. So you guys always kept me on my toes, and then of course
it was all us.
Yeah.
Sure.
My weekend job sometimes became a daytime job during the week, having to deal with some of that stuff. But it's all right. I would never change it for anything in the world. I love it. So, going to grad school, how's finding a new job in New York? What are some of your guys' intentions for what you want to do in your future?
I want to be a pro hockey player. Just messing around. Yeah, I mean, I haven't played for you since like 2018, right? So it's been a while now, like over 5 years. But we've kept in touch. We play. I think we've gotten nice with each other at least every year since then, and seen each other for sure. But college, I don't think I played freshman year. I brought my stuff up to Syracuse, but it was just super busy, and it was almost impossible to find time to play my freshman year. And then sophomore year in the middle, that's when COVID hit. So I think I started playing a little bit, and then it ended. And then once we came back, I was full. I brought my stuff, and I was playing hockey every week. They had stick and puck at the rink there, and it was kind of super easy to find ice. Me and Harrison would actually go sometimes too, where they would have stick and puck like every weekday from like 1 to 4. And with my classes, when I was a senior, I would go like all the time. Even when my brother came for graduation, I told them, bring your stuff. We're going to get some ice time because they always got hockey going on there. So I was always playing senior year a lot. And then after, I mean, now I haven't never played roller hockey, but we just started playing roller hockey. We're on a team and kind of fell in love with that too. I never thought I'd like roller hockey, just playing ice my whole life. But me and Cale are also on the team, and it's super fun. Still playing hockey every weekend on our team, but it's not at the Sky Rink anymore. It's actually in City Ice, which is in Lyon City. And yeah, being able to just have that, like, and getting a job and also have stuff to look forward to, like after work, I might have roller hockey some days. And a buddy who is on my work team is also on the roller hockey team because we were just talking. We found this shared connection for hockey. He's like, yeah, I'll join the team. And now we're getting closer because of that. So hockey's just a lot for me.
Because I always think of you guys as like the kids, and now I'm like, you guys are in school, you guys are outside of school, you guys are paying taxes, you guys are. It's a little mind-boggling for me because I still see you guys as smart-ass 17-year-olds. So even though none of you were really smart asses. Maybe you, Teddy, and maybe you, Shally, but not anybody else.
Oh, Shally.
Yeah.
Good job keeping it clean, eh?
Do you remember, Coach? Do you remember the nickname you gave me? Do you remember the nickname that you gave me?
Shally.
No, it was Coach Shally.
Yeah. No, that was your nickname, buddy.
Well, you gave that to me. I was always up there
Yeah.
trying to draw on the board because, yeah.
Yeah. I remember that.
So,
but going back to what Teddy was talking about and kind of how, it's what have you figuring out what you guys have been up to when it comes to hockey since you guys walked away from Chelsea Piers and started your adult lives. Does anyone else want to talk about what they've been up to the last couple years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years? Go ahead, Harrison.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of have a similar timeline as Teddy. I also go to Syracuse, and I don't think we actually ever played together on your team back in high school, but maybe we played once in spring league, but then we, kind of met up here and played some open hockey sessions. And, I'm still playing intramural here right now, going to those same time slots that Teddy was talking about. They have a lot of open ice and like people don't really go to them. So it's nice to, still be on the ice and yeah, just trying to stay with the game and hopefully join one of these adult leagues once I graduate.
It's always important to make sure your first game to your new team, don't forget the sodas, all right?
Sodas.
But one thing that I guess maybe a way to kind of reword this question is to kind of hear about what's your guys' kind of your main goals that you guys want to work on now. Like, what are you going to do outside of school? What are the things you want to do? Go ahead, Jacob.
Yeah, so I kind of like ever since I was kind of on your team, basically back in ninth grade, I knew that like I wanted to do something like within the sport of hockey, and I figured out in college and over the summer a few years back that I wanted to like kind of be a I don't know, kind of like a play-by-play guy. So I took over my school's radio club and we kind of brought it back from the dead, and now it's like um, we got like people at every game like calling the game and stuff, and I don't know, I feel like I can take that with me somewhere in a way, even if I don't end up like doing that. I feel like the experience that I'm gaining from it is like incredible. It's like very like I don't know. They kind of insert me in the middle of things, I guess, at like BC. So I get to like be on the press level, like interact with all those people, and all like for my club. So it's been really fun.
Cool. Yeah, I'm happy I've been seeing the good things and listening in on a few of your broadcasts. So you're doing good. Anybody else going to talk about their big goals? I mean, I know Ogie, you're going to be a computer scientist, maybe a president someday. Shally, maybe you're going to be a governor of something. What do you got, Shally?
I mean, currently still playing hockey. I mean, I'm very fortunate here at UB. I mean, it's pretty nice still being around all the guys, having that in common, hanging out, still being able to talk to everyone about it here. I mean, still looking for internships kind of in that phase of my life as a junior. Uh, Finance is what I'm studying, so I want to try and, break into that field. It's highly competitive, anywhere you go, especially in New York City. So, I mean, my ultimate goal is to do financial planning, advising. I really love investing and helping other people with their investments and kind of their assets would be, the biggest goal of mine. So currently, one day at a time, just kind of enjoying college for now, making sure that, step by step, everything's getting better and, eventually, hopefully, paying taxes like the rest of you guys. So.
Nice. And what about the rest of you? Go ahead, Ogie.
Yeah, so in terms of hockey, obviously Wesleyan University ain't exactly a big hockey school, so I went from being a captain of your team for I think 2 years there to being a captain here for the past, including this year, not as much because I'm at the master's level now, so a little bit less time to do that. But I did it for the past 2 years as well. And the general outlook is cybersecurity, building off of the research stuff that I did and am doing. I don't really know how much hockey I'm going to be able to do outside of the weekends or a beer league thing, but I'll always love it and I'll always respect it. But it's just probably not going to be in the outlook for a day-to-day thing for me.
Fair. Yeah, school first, lifetime stuff first before hockey, but never forget what's on at 7:00 at night.
No way.
Harrison, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely trying to stay involved in the sports world. I'm studying sport management here. So I've been doing a lot of different things. I'm working for this guy right now who has his own NIL firm, to help college athletes make money. So it's been pretty cool. I'm actually going to study in London next semester for a semester abroad. So I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, just, getting ready, looking for internships this summer. Same old.
The grind is real
Yeah,
for you guys.
exactly.
Cale and Teddy, since you guys are now kind of employed and you used your college education to get into something, what are you guys looking for in your professional career to kind of move forward with?
Well, I in college studied advertising and graphic design, which you were definitely able to give some guidance on. But so now I work in marketing, which is pretty similar to advertising, I'd say. And I really transitioned well. I like my job a lot. And yeah, it was cool because I got to use some of the stuff I learned in school. But I think right now, so I'm at Charles Tyrwhitt. I don't know if you've heard of them, but yeah, I see myself progressing in that company for a while. Or another position comes along, but I plan to stay in the marketing world. Yeah, for a while, as long as I'm enjoying it.
How about you, Teddy? You gonna take over Goldman Sachs or something?
No. I mean, right now, I'm only been working at this company now for like a year and a few months, so looking for opportunities to grow within the company is my first priority. But honestly, I don't know what my long term goal is. I'm not set in stone. Yeah, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I want to become this. Let's say example. I don't want to be a financial advisor. It's not my dream. I don't have that. But right now, I'm just kind of taking it's work, getting paid well. I like people who I'm working with. I'm in a great company. I'm not gonna say that that's not a great thing that I'm doing. I'm really fortunate that I have that. A lot of people are not in that same situation, but I don't know exactly what I want to do. Super long term, kind of taking it a year at a time, or day by day, and just keep pushing through. Who knows what's gonna happen? But right now, that's what I'm working on. I'm still doing I'm taking my exams. I know John might be familiar. I'm taking my SIE, which I just passed, and I take the Series 63, then I'm actually Series 7, get my certifications in that. But even if it's not something that I want to do long term, I think it's definitely beneficial for me to, learn and get a skill and get some certifications in this field. And who knows, I might start to like it more if I end up being in a different role or something like that. So I don't not like it, but it's just work right now. I'm not saying it's my dream.
Plus, I have to say you haven't discussed your side hustle, which is different than you do for a living, but it's still cool. Coaching is my side hustle for being a graphic designer full time, and Teddy being a very good DJ and creating some success from that on the side has been, from what I hear and see, probably been pretty good for you as well. Keeps you busy.
For sure.
As coach used to say to all you guys, make sure you keep your nose clean. And but that's pretty much the simplicity of it. Well, guys, thanks so much for having a chat with me. I've got a few more of you guys are sending me some recorded stuff that will add to this. It's really, really good to see that you guys are flourishing and moving forward and making things happen. If you've seen last week's episode, I had Coach Joe Batista, and he actually works with a lot of guys your age and kind of helping them advanced through their lives. And also all the guys he really talks to, most of them were athletes. So get his book. I've been reading it. It's very good. But you guys have the right trajectory moving forward, and you guys are all flourishing, and Ogie's lights keep going out. Is it like one of those sensors? So if you don't move, it just turns off?
Cut out again. I can't.
Well, guys, thanks so much for your time. Thanks so much for your time on a Wednesday night. I hope you guys are watching games tonight, or as Ogie is in school still today. So great to hear from you guys, and can't wait to hear more from you guys. And we'll make sure we get that holiday skate together.
Yeah. Awesome to talk to you, Steve.
Yep.
What a discussion with these great young men. Nothing I do in the sport brings me more joy than having a laugh with these players after they leave my program and head on to the greater things in life. I hope this encourages any coach to realize that it's not about systems and following orders. It's about aiding them to be better in all aspects of their lives. I do want to clarify a few of my coaching rules that they mentioned. The water thing. I wasn't taking away from them entirely, but they were so disruptive in practices that year that the one player, Cale, mentioned it, that I said you should hydrate before and after practice. But as I mentioned, I found out pretty quickly that they weren't doing that, and they probably did need water during practice. So that happened. I definitely take a few water breaks now in a practice. Also, the no girlfriends thing, that is mostly about distractions. Some of them, the kids, nowadays especially, have so many. And when I was a kid, I was trying to chase girls, and playing hockey and trying to get my schoolworks done and everything like that. But I, as a coach now, kind of with my lens I have towards these kids, sometimes I see distractions, and sometimes it can be the other sex that has a tendency to distract them. So I told them, focus on your schooling, focus on playing hockey, have fun, get all that stuff out of your system, so that by the time you're in your mid-20s, you'll be, you're not going to be later in life trying to get that out of your system of having fun and partying and everything else. So, yes. Sorry. While I'm recording, folks, I am definitely watching the Red Wings Bruins game. And the Red Wings tied it up. Anyway, yeah, it was a great conversation with these kids. All in all, such a great chat to bring these guys together all over the country with some laughs in their crazy schedules. I can't wait for my alumni skate that I mentioned I have with them, because it is truly good. Because the kids that I'm coaching currently mention it when they come back. Coach, are we going to have that alumni skate? Because I think some of the kids kind of like that as, let's go back and kind of, relive it a little bit. Today's music is another look at Club Duvet, featuring vocals by Joe Fusco, who is one of the players that I had send a video in for the interview. Great kid, good filmmaker, has a very aspiring career in front of him. So I hope you guys can check that link, get to their site. If you're in New York, follow them on Instagram, because they put on a pretty good show, even for an old guy like myself. So don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to comment. We're on a few different platforms now. I added Apple. I'm going to be adding Amazon Music. I'm trying to increase the growth of this podcast. And like I said in my Instagram post after my practice last night with kids, I'd love to have you along for the ride. And every week I'm just getting so full of love and getting a lot of great compliments from people and working on the craft of it. And I really want to make sure that you're there for it as well. I didn't wear anything the Red Wing. All I had because the Red Wings were playing while I was recording. I had to be a little more Red Wing centric with what I'm wearing here. So hopefully that works. Fingers crossed. They can get a win after not doing so hot the last 4 games. So anyway, don't forget, throw that puck cross ice so someone can get that nice one-timer top cheddar. Cross Ice Pass episode 10 next week. We'll see you there.